This is the play that the Philadelphia Eagles used against the Washington Redskins last season when quarterback Michael Vick connected with Deshaun Jackson on an 88-yard TD pass on the first play from scrimmage. The Colts don't use the bunch formation very often, but when they do, this is one of the plays they like to run out of it, especially in the red zone. This is a new formation for Madden NFL 12 where Miles Austin will line up in the slot. The Cowboys like to use this play to create one-on-one matchups in the middle of the field with tight end Jason Witten and wide receiver Miles Austin. Witten will run a quick drag clearing out the middle, while Austin will run a slant in behind him. This play was used in a Week 7 game versus the Giants. Bills head coach Chan Gailey was one of the first NFL coaches to start using the pistol, going back to his days when he was the offensive coordinator in Kansas City. In this new formation to Madden NFL 12, the Bills line up halfback Fred Jackson to the right of the QB and halfback CJ Spiller directly behind in this pistol set. Jackson will receive the handoff going to the left, while Spiller will fake to the right. When it's a passing situation and the Cardinals need to pick up a crucial first down, the ball is more than likely to go to wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. On this play, the Cardinals line up in an empty set with Fitzgerald lining up to the far right. He'll run an inside dig type route while the slot receiver runs a short hitch in front, drawing up the linebackers to create the opening. This play was used in a Week 2 contest at Atlanta. Another new formation for Madden NFL 12, tight end Antonio Gates will line up closer to the right tackle in a receiver stance. On this play, Gates will run a drag route underneath, drawing up coverage while the backside receivers run a cross and a dig respectively. As defenses collapse on Gates underneath, quarterback Phillip Rivers has his choice of receivers coming across the field for a big completion. This play was used in the Week 1 game at Kansas City. This play is a very common play from a variety of formations throughout Madden NFL 12. In this particular case, however, the Chiefs like to use the Z-spot concept from the gun split close formation to utilize the speed of halfback Jamal Charles coming out of the backfield. This play was used in a Week 10 game at Denver. Quarterback Matt Ryan and wide receiver Roddy White have become one of the most feared passing threats in the NFL. On this play, the Falcons like to align White tight while isolating him on the backside and have him run an underneath drag route. White also has an option route that will allow him to check up against zone coverage while continuing across the field against man coverage. This play was used in a Week 2 game versus the Cardinals. Giants wide receiver Hakeem Nicks had a breakout season and became quarterback Eli Manning's go-to guy in the red zone. On this play, the Giants have tight end Kevin Boss run a mid-dig route while slot receiver Steve Smith runs a shorter corner route. These combinations open up the defense for Nicks to run a post route in behind for a big gain. This play was used in a Week 2 game at Indianapolis. The Jaguars are a run-first team and like to control the tempo with halfback Maurice Jones-Drew on the ground. After establishing the ground game, they like to use play action to take shots down the field. One of their big play action plays is this one, where they look to try and hit their huge breakout performer, tight end Mercedes Lewis, on a post route. The Jets love to try and confuse the defense with different looks, and this is one of the formations they utilize to do just that. On this play, the two outside receivers run wheel routes to stretch the field, while the slot receiver runs a post down the middle. This play was used in Week 10 against Cleveland for a 25-yard TD pass from Mark Sanchez to Jericho Cotchery. This is a play that several teams have added to their playbooks over the past season. The tight end will run a drag route across the field away from the booting quarterback and then turn up the field on a wheel route. In this version, the Raiders used this play to perfection for a 43-yard TD pass from quarterback Jason Campbell to tight end Zach Miller in a Week 7 game at Denver. New Miami Dolphins offensive coordinator Brian Daboll used this play last year in Cleveland, with Peyton Hillis catching a 19-yard touchdown pass during a Week 5 game versus the Atlanta Falcons. The halfback will run a wheel route out of the backfield, while the two receivers to that side run routes to clear out the defense. Tight formations have become a very common sight in the NFL over the past few seasons. The Browns love to use their tight ends, and in this play, the primary receiver is tight end Ben Watson, who is running an angled curl route. The flanker to the right of the tight end will run a quick drag, while the halfback runs to the flat. These two routes help open up the tight end on the curl between defenders. The sluggo seam is a very common route concept around the NFL, especially in West Coast offenses. With Cincinnati hiring Jake Gruden as the offensive coordinator, the Bengals will most likely be installing some West Coast schemes. Jay, who was a member of his brother John's coaching staff with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will look to invigorate a Bengals offense that finished 22nd in the NFL in points per game. $326 Okie Roll 2 is by design a 2-deep, 4-under zone pressure concept. What stands out about the play is that it uses a pre-snap disguise by the free and strong safety. Before the ball is snapped, the safeties and nickel cornerbacks will roll to a look where the free safety and nickel cornerbacks are in the 2-deep look, while the strong safety and dime cornerback blitz. NFL defensive coordinators are constantly inventing new ways of giving the offense the illusion of an all-out blitz pressure. $326 Okie Roll 3, just as its counterpart Okie Roll 2, uses a pre-snap disguise from a 2-deep look. With both inside linebackers showing blitz in the B gaps, it looks as if it's an all-out blitz, but it's actually a basic 3-deep, 4-under zone defense. A growing trend in the NFL is the use of what's commonly referred to as sub-personnel defenses in normal down and distance situations. In Madden NFL 12, new defensive sets such as Sub 236, which uses 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 safeties, and 3 cornerbacks, cater to that trend. Overload 3 seam is a 3-deep, 3-under fire zone concept in which the zone defenders use a pattern read technique that causes the zone coverage to play more like a man-to-man defense. Sub 236 odd uses the same personnel grouping as does Sub 236 of 2 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 safeties, and 3 cornerbacks. The use of an odd front in which the center is covered allows the defense to use multiple looks. Mike Edge to Buzz is a play from this defensive set that uses pre-snap movement in order to confuse the offense. Sub 236 even is a defensive set in which the 2 outside linebackers will align in a 3-point stance. This gives the defense a 4-down lineman look with 2 athletic speed rushers coming off the edge. The Sugar Blitz is a play in which the middle linebacker and strong safety will align in the left and right A gaps in order to blitz. Sub 236 even Sugar Fire Zone, like the Sugar Blitz play, calls for the middle linebacker and strong safety to align in their respective A gap to show blitz. Once the ball is snapped, the strong safety blitzes while the middle linebacker drops in a zone. The coverage on the back end of the blitz is a 3-under, 3-deep pattern read zone. Sub 236 even Sugar 3 Bluff has the middle linebacker, strong safety, and nickel cornerback all aligned in a show blitz look. This look is meant to give the offense the illusion of an all-out blitz. Once the ball is snapped, the aforementioned 3 players will each drop to their respective zones, looking to read the releases of the receiver routes in the zone coverage. A common disguise coverage pressure scheme that's used in the NFL, Dime Normal Corner Roll 2, calls for the right and nickel cornerbacks to blitz off the edge. This play is primarily used when the ball is placed on the left hash mark. This shortens the distance the 2 corners have to go to get to the quarterback. A solid short yardage and goal line defensive package is a vital part of any defensive game plan. Goal line 6-4-1 is specifically designed as a counter to the offensive goal line formation. With each gap accounted for, this short yardage package will greatly improve the effectiveness of short yardage defense. In 3rd down passing situations, it's not all that unusual to see an NFL defense align in some form of exotic defensive look. Defensive coordinators use these type of looks in order to confuse the quarterback as well as the offensive line. Nickel 1-5-5 prowl double loop is a play that fits that description. Each player in the defensive front uses pre-snap movement to a different position in order to carry out their pass rush assignments. Well, that's it for this episode of Sports Gamer Show. If you want more content, make sure to check out the website at www.sportsgamershow.com. Also like the Sports Gamer Show Facebook page and follow Sports Gamer Show on Twitter at Sports Gamer Show. I'm Rio Pacino, and we'll see you next time.